Yo, my voice is kind of back, which is crazy. I literally woke up this morning, I was like, I didn't talk, I just sat there. I was like, no way, my voice is back. And then I spoke. I was like, back. You guys have been waiting for 25 minutes. Whoops. Cry about it. Yeah. Singapore Grand Prix was crazy. I'm not gonna lie, guys. This is actually really good for what I have. I frothed the milk using the French press. Grand Prix. Okay, leave me alone, bro. Just leave me alone. Wait a minute. I think it'd be cool if you stopped speaking. Toxic. Yeah, this is gonna be one of those study sessions where it's just chill. It's raining outside, which is really pretty. It hasn't rained in weeks. So it's been raining for the last 4 hours. The thing is, apparently if you lose your voice, you don't want to whisper. Whispering. Oh, that's only if you strain it. Duh. Okay, so we're gonna whisper very nice and quietly for my voice to recover. So today's also gonna be like a 7 to 8 hour stream because it's gonna be like a 7 to 8 hour stream because we have a lot of quizzes and tests this week. My skin's super dry and it's pissing me off. like when my skin's dry, I feel it. Like every single time I move my face. Morning routine with me? No. My morning routine is horrible. It's literally just argue with myself to get out of bed. But that's actually something I want to talk about today. Yesterday I talked about how to do something. Or like for me, so you guys ever felt very strongly about something? Like, okay, I'm gonna do this. You made a determination to do it, right? Like, I'm gonna do this. And then as time goes on, you end up kind of losing that same passion, emotion of, oh, like, I'm gonna do this. And over time that fades away. And then eventually you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I ran into a similar situation like that where I felt so strongly about something, and then recently I'm looking at it, I'm like, would it be a big deal if I just, if I just forgot about it and just, and then I thought, why did I go from this sense of determination to now this? Like, where did it go? What happened? I was very confused. And the thing is, I've ran into this my entire life, where you say you're gonna do something, and over time you lose that sense of desire of actually doing it. And I would always lose. I'd always give in. So then, but these days I've realized, I've changed a lot, so even in this I can change. So it's like, there has to be a way out of it. And one thing I realized, I think I read this from like a Buddhist monk or something. With knowledge, you can overcome all things. If you have knowledge of it and you understand it, then you can overcome it. So I was like, okay, I just have to figure out what exactly is going on. Just like with math, when you don't know what's going on, it's scary and intimidating. But once you actually sit down and understand it, it's not so scary anymore, and it's actually easy to solve. It's the same with our problems. So I looked at it, and I was like wondering, I was like, okay, feelings don't matter. So feelings aside, like, because some days you feel like you want to do things, some days you don't feel like you want to do things. Feelings change. Okay, so the topic is, have you guys ever had a sense of determination that you were going to do something? And then as time went on, that sense of determination fades away. You lose sight of what you wanted, and it's not even losing sight of what you wanted. That feeling of wanting it is no longer there. The feeling. What I'm trying to say is, I'm just gonna get straight to the point actually. Maybe if I do that, it'll make more sense. Let's say you set a standard for yourself. And you say, I am, let's say this. For people, let's say people that want to quit alcohol. They say, I want to quit alcohol. Okay? And this is more of a mental thing. Obviously, there's physical withdrawals, but let's say they pass that period. Now it's just mental. So imagine they have decided, I don't want to drink alcohol anymore. They said, I don't want to drink alcohol anymore. But then one day they feel like, I want to drink alcohol. This is what I realized. I don't want to drink alcohol. If I, and you could even ask yourself, like, man, how do I explain this? I'm talking about this experience I went through. The individual themselves doesn't want to drink alcohol. So then they should ask themselves, then who is it inside of me that wants me to drink alcohol? So for example, I made a decision that I want to study. I made a decision I want to study. That's me. I know for a fact that's me. But then there'll be times where it's like, oh bro, don't study, just go play games. And then I realized, who is this person that is trying to reason with me? Does that make sense? There's like this other individual inside of me who's trying to convince me of something else. Convince who? Me. Does that make sense? It's like, imagine this like different version inside of you. Or even the desire itself. It's trying to convince you. The problem is when you don't realize that and you just think that the desire is a part of you. It's not. So it's like, I know I want to study. So then what is this part that's trying to convince me not to study? Because they're two separate things. I'm not sure if that makes sense. I think it makes sense if you look at your own life and you see it in your own things. We tend to be lazy. Hard work requires energy and mind power. Yeah. And the funny thing is, sometimes your brain, like sometimes this, like, let me see if I could draw it. I'm gonna draw it. Drawing has always made things easier for me to explain. Not that I'm good at drawing though. Okay. Okay. This is what I'm trying to explain. This is Pilu. Why is it showing eraser? Why is it an eraser? Okay. This is me. Maybe a little bit of drool. Okay. So this is me. Right? And I say I want study. And I know this is what I want. This is like what I truly want. Now that's a whole different story, figuring out what you want. But this is what I want. If I ever have the thought of no study, play games, or whatever, this thought is coming from something else. Like something, because you're trying to convince who? Yourself. I'm not sure if that makes sense. I don't know why it was such a big revelation to me to think about it. That's weird. But all of a sudden, once I said that, I realized what was going on inside my mind. Yeah, exactly. Your true self and then like your body, you're like the lazy part of you. There's a lazy thing inside of you. Or the desire itself. It wants to exist. think about it like survival. This is in a little bit of a philosophical way. Everything wants to survive. Bacteria, viruses, everything. And some say even thoughts want to survive. So when a thought is about to die, what does it do? It starts screaming. Because it's about to die, it wants to still live. So this part of me, oh, play games, do this, it wants to live. So what does it do? It comes and it tries to bargain with me. It tries to say, oh, bro, we'll just for today. Or just this. And then as soon as you say no, it'll change. Like, okay. Fine, we'll just do it for 2 hours. And it starts to bargain with you. But the problem is, I used to just view it as this. I used to think that it was just me. That I wanted to play games. And games could be changed with anything. This is just an example. This is what I used to think. Oh, I want to play games. But then, once I came to this realization that there's someone else. There's something else. And it's trying to bargain with me. All I do then is just... no. Yeah, sorry. I wanted to change it at the beginning. Because like I'd ask myself, I was like, do I want to study? Yes, I do. Do I want to play games? No, I don't. And just saying that out loud, I realized that this is not what I want. This is what something else wants. I'm not sure if that makes sense. But for me, this was like... this answered a big... like, this changed my entire mindscape. Of how I view things. Like, even this morning, I could ask myself, didn't I want to wake up early? The answer is yes. But my lazy body wants to keep sleeping. Should I follow my lazy body or should I do what I want to do? And when you put it in that, when you put it like that, you guys ever realize, like, there's a saying, oh yeah, when you put it like that, yeah, it makes more sense. I feel like sometimes you have to do that with your thoughts. Thoughts can be very vague. Just like math. You have to show your work. Once you show your work, then you could follow and realize, okay, this is actually pretty easy. It's the same with thoughts. You have to realize where your thoughts are coming from and where, like, what they are. They can't just be vague. And that's what this was. This was vague, and I confused my identity. I thought that I was struggling. No, I don't struggle. There's no... you make a decision of what you want. Everyone decides. Are you gonna live according to something else? Someone else, what someone else wants for you? Or are you gonna do what you want? And yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. And like, you could replace this with anything. Whatever thing you want to do. I want to go walking every day. No, don't go on a walk, just stay inside. It's like, but this is what I want. And then think about it. This is what I want, and there's something else then telling me not to do it. There's someone else trying to bargain with me and convince who? Me, this identity, me, to not do it. Like, I'm not sure if I am explaining this as well as I understand it, but yeah. I'm not even kidding, guys. This was like years of like things just solved. Shower thoughts go crazy. Maybe I was just waffling for the last 10 minutes, but it was good for me too, because it helped me also deepen my understanding of what I know. Yeah, and I think that you have to realize like there's two versions of yourself. There's that lazy version. Like the way I view it is, the way I view it is like, how do I explain this? This one's a little bit harder for me to explain. It's more of a mental thing for me. So this is how I imagine myself. This is something I would do a lot. I'm telling you, if you, everything seems complicated until you understand it. Think about every difficult thing in life you ever had. But once you understood it, you're like, okay, I understand this. And I feel like we don't do that with what's going on in our brain. So there's one throne and then one crown. So whoever sits on the throne is king, right? We have one body, but within our body there's this part of us that has dreams, goals, and all these things. And actually, this part even wants to work hard. It likes hard work. And then there's this part of us that's lazy, lame, loser, no goals, and there's these two things. I really like that quote. Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be under Fall Guys. Right? And you could eat, like, here, actually, okay, I was gonna make a joke. I was gonna draw this part to be Among Us. Okay, yeah, it's literally top G and bottom G. But what you have to realize, and this is a big thing, and this is something that I don't want to say read about, but I'm not sure if you guys ever heard. The thing you have to realize is, these two things, they're both inside of you. Pause. Let me rephrase that. These two personas both exist. They're a part of you. Okay? So it's not that you should hate this. This is a big thing. Hate can never lead to anything good. It can never, hate does not, like, how does hate equal good? It doesn't. So you shouldn't hate this guy. You shouldn't hate him. But you should take care of him. And to take care of him, you need to be on this throne. And that was a big thing. I tried to visualize this. So let me explain how I visualize this guy. Crooked back, raggedy clothes, drooling, messed up teeth, and I imagine it. I imagine it. And he's asking for help because he doesn't know what else to do. He asks for help. He wants help. And that's where this guy comes in. Hate can lead to stress relief? Incorrect. That's actually incorrect. Psychologically, the best way to relieve stress in the brain is not to lash out, but to allow the brain to resolve it in a way, in a healthy way. Because there's healthy ways to resolve stress, and that's actually, I'll post a video. I'm not telling you to like be silent and never voice your opinion. There's a correct way to express yourself. I do have a tablet, I'll use that. But what's this all to say? Out of love for yourself, become the person. You have to become this person. You have to be this person that chases dreams, goals, aspirations. You have to become this person and take control. You have to take control so that you can help this poor, poor loser that doesn't know what to do. And this was also a game changer. I would always tell myself, whenever I would become lazy, lame, be a loser, not do what I want to do, I would tell myself, it's going to sound a little bit cheesy, but reclaim the throne. I don't know, when you make things sound cool, it sounds more exciting. It's more exciting. When you put it like that, like reclaim the throne, bro. Like reclaim the throne. Don't let this guy who doesn't know what he's doing sit on the throne. He literally wants you to be there. He wants you to take care of him. Because he doesn't know better. Yeah, so this was another big thing for me. It's like, yeah, this is a big thing. Reclaim your throne. Take back control and do the things you want to do so that you can help out this other, because you can't deny this. You can't just say, oh, this guy doesn't exist anymore. Oh, this guy doesn't exist. He's gone. No, that's lying to yourself. Do you know what David Goggins says? I love when David Goggins said this. He told people, that fat guy that I once was, he's still here. That's what he said. He's still here. I can hear him. And that's literally what this is. You can't deny, because that person who he was, it's still a part of him. But he's taken control, and he took the throne. They don't know me, son. Like, literally. And yeah, like, even David Goggins, this is David Goggins. That fat loser that he once was is still there. He says whenever he smells like bacon or he sees donuts, this guy starts to act up a little bit. But think about it. That fat guy wanted help. He didn't want to stay like that. He was miserable. So when this guy took the throne, that's when this guy got the help he wanted. I think when you change your perspective on things, it's you have to work on your mind. It's like this. This is actually such a good analogy. If you have a math problem, right? you have this math problem, okay? And so this is your brain. This is your brain, right? And this is your this is your brain, and this is the problem you're facing. Literally, think about a math. When you struggle to understand something, apply it to something you already know. This is your problem, whatever it may be. You're struggling to do what you want to do. You're struggling with negative thoughts, whatever. It's a problem. But notice how every problem has a solution. Every problem has a solution, okay? But if you just leave it like this, you're not going to know that solution. You're not going to be able to solve for X. So what you have to do is you have to start thinking about it and solving it. How do I... Okay, actually, my math is so bad, I don't know how to solve this quadratic formula. Wait a minute. This is supposed to be 2, not 4. Wait a minute. Wait, why are you guys saying OCD? Wait. I mean, it's not obsessing. Okay, you could say that every single person that studied something had OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. Like when you become so engrossed in something that you just think about it all the time. I obviously I'm not trying to say that's OCD, but what I'm trying to say is in life, you have to like... No, Pilu, no, okay. Ciao. Okay, wait, pause. Okay, we're all good. I think we're all on the same page. Guys, how do I... Wait a minute. Wait. Bro, this is so bad. My math, it needs so much work. So I did the right thing. I factored out. No, I have to figure out a factor. And that's this? And then from this, I need to factor it again. That becomes X. Okay. And then this, oh. I need to do basic algebra again. This is ridiculous. Oh my days. Okay. What am I trying to say? Okay. What am I trying to say? From this big, for Pilu, scary equation. This was scary for me. Okay, let me explain. Issue. problem. If you just look at it as a problem, and you just say, oh, it's a problem, you have to find the solution. And there is a solution, but the solution requires work. So what am I trying to say? You have a problem. You need to put in work, and then you get the solution. Does this make sense? You have a problem. Let's say my problem is, oh, something for me. I'm trying to think of an example I can explain clearly. I think, but this is, bro, okay. Give me an example of something that people struggle to do. Wait, bottom right is wrong? Oh wait, it duplicated the view. Dang it. Wait, why is the bottom right wrong? No, this was solving. I subtracted 1. I was subtracting 1. I was just doing a shortcut. Okay, but here's the thing. So you factor out an x. Okay, but here's my quick question. No, he was just saying about the work, because I had x plus 1 equals -1. So... So I take out an x, 2x squared, bro, I need help. I need help. Oh my days. Okay. I need help. Jeez. I actually have to... We're studying 12 hours today. So for me, for example... Let me explain it like this. This is really good for me. Because I want to become better at explaining how I feel. So your guys' feedback is very vital. So now I have a problem. Oh, I can actually do this. Okay. So remember how it was a math problem? It's a problem. My problem, for example, was... I remember one day, I was driving home. I found out that my friend was getting married. Bro. My friend is like the same age as me. And... oh my gosh. I was like, this guy's getting married? He's graduating, he's gonna get a job soon, he's getting married. So then, like, bro, it was like, I would say overthinking. Slash, I would say it's like this. This is what it was. It was horrible, I remember it. It was so bad. I was driving home, and literally, my mind, it wouldn't shut up. I don't know how else to explain it. It just wouldn't shut up. Like, imagine a whole crowd of people just telling you how much a loser you are. And that was my problem. And I didn't know the solution. I said, how do I fix this? Because obviously this is a problem. But this problem has a solution. I was smart enough, thankfully, from my experience. I was smart enough from my experiences, thankfully, to know that there is a solution. Sometimes people don't even think there is one. They don't even think, they don't even have an equals. They just view it as this. Look, this is, so imagine your brain. This is what your brain sees. Problem this, that's it. But as soon as you add an equal sign, all of a sudden there's a solution. We just don't know it. So now you can actually work on your problem. Because there is a solution. Okay, so then I was thinking, it wasn't even him, it was me. Like, he's a good friend of mine, and I made it a point to myself. A true friend will never be jealous of another friend's success. And I'm talking about in like a deep level, not a superficial way. If your friends get jealous at your success rather than happy for you, then they're not your friends. I'm gonna say that right now. I can say that confidently. A friend should be happy, and I was happy for him. The problem is, then I thought about myself. When he told me all those things, then I thought about myself, and I asked myself, what am I doing? And that's where all this came from. Okay, but then look at this. This is what my brain sees. There's a problem, there's a solution, but I don't know it. So then, I started to think, I was like, why do I have this? I knew, I was like, it's like, imagine this. Here's Pilu, literally suffering. He's literally suffering. Like, he's going through the motions. He's crying, whatever. I wasn't crying. But then, there's just different version of Pilu just watching all this happen. What was it? There was this really cool quote. It made me get goosebumps. Who is... What was the quote? I'm trying to, like, I know what the quote means. It's just the way the words were put together made it make so much sense. Who's the person that watches you think? It was something like that. Like, when you like, there's this self within you, and it's just like watching this, right? So these are both Pilu. You could call it the subconscious, you could call it the spirit, you could call it whatever. I have to find the wording. I apologize. The wording was so crazy. I was like, bruh. Okay, here it is. This is what it was. You think, but who's realizing that you're thinking? Does that make sense? So, okay, I'm thinking. But who is realizing that you are thinking? There's this other thing inside of us. Whether you call it subconscious, spirit, soul, whatever, it doesn't matter. There's something watching us do these things. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say. So I was watching myself go through these motions. I was like, damn. Pilu's really going through it right now. That's what I said. I was like, damn. I didn't know the solution, but I knew that I just had to work through it and figure it out. So I went on a walk. And I was trying to figure things out. And while I was on this walk, though, the voices were still, like, going crazy. Like, they were worse than you guys. There's a saying, anything that you guys have ever said to me, I've already said to myself, and even worse. If you call me a loser, I've already called myself worse than a loser. You know? So it's like, my voices were going crazy. And I was thinking, And I was thinking. And then I realized, I asked myself, what is it I'm struggling with? Overthinking, anxiety, what are these things? Are they tangible? Is it like I'm fighting someone, like a physical person? No, so it's not physical. Okay. Then what is it? They're thoughts. Would you guys agree with me? That overthinking and even anxiety, they only arise from our thoughts. They're just thoughts in our brain. And what makes them? Our brain. So, okay, it's not physical. So, the solution, now you're defining your solution, kind of. Like in math, you're defining what it is. So, it's something to do with my mind. It's not physical. Sometimes you're going to have a problem, physical problem. Like, let's say, a horrible teacher. You have a horrible teacher, and then you have to come up with a solution for that. But for this case, the solution has to do something with my mind. My mind space. Okay, so I was struggling with thoughts. Okay, I've made progress. From here, I've already started to define my problem more. I'm starting to understand it more. It has to do with my thoughts. Right? Okay. And now, what's next? Well, these thoughts, what are they? Really think about, what is a thought? We have them all the time, but have I ever sat and thought, what is a thought? What is it? Where does it come from? What does it do to me? Like, we do all these complicated things in our life. Oh, I have these problems. Do you even know what a thought is? Have you organized that in your mind? So then you have to think, okay, what is a thought? Huh. That's interesting. I have them all the time. Do I know what it is? It's just something my brain makes, right? I don't know a clear definition. It comes from the brain. I think I already wrote that. It comes from our brain. Not necessarily true. Right? Like Higashi thought he was good at Scribble.io. That's a thought. He was incorrect. He lost 3 times last night. So you see what I'm saying? Thoughts can be incorrect. And then I realized something. There should be more work. So I should think about this more. I'm missing work. Because I came up with the solution. I got my solution. But to be honest with you guys, I haven't even thought about this that much. I have to think about this more. So I'm missing some work. But luckily I came to the solution of what? I came to this solution. So this problem I had, overthinking, anxiety, I realized, okay, the problem has to do with my thoughts. Because that's what these things are. Okay, thoughts. There should be more work here. I wish I could explain it to you guys better. Maybe one day. But this is the solution right here. I am not my thoughts. The thoughts that were telling me all of these horrible things, all they are just thoughts that come from my brain. But they're not true, and they're not even like me. They just kind of like spawn. And once I realized, I just said, I am not my thoughts. I'm not what those things say. And as soon as I realized this, and honestly though, the thing is, maybe we'll come up with different answers because we're all different people, and the problem can have different variables. Right? But when I came to this solution, I came to my solution. This was my solution. And it was fixed. I no longer had this problem because
For my next trick, I will.
my problem was solved. This was the solution. And this is what I'm trying to say. When you have a problem in your life, there's a solution. You just have to work through it. You have to work through it. You have a problem, you work through it, you get a solution. And this is something that I forget about all the time. In the sense of, what happens is, I run into a problem, and then I get mad about it. I run into a problem like, bro, what the heck? Like, dude, what the F, bro? Like, why am I going through this, dude? And like, ah. But just like Higashi said, God gives his hardest battles to the strongest soldiers. Once you go through this, you become better at the end of it. What am I trying to say? Compare it to math. The more math problems you solve, the better you become at math. The more problems you solve, the better of a problem solver you become. The more problems you face in life, the better of a problem solver you will become. And this comes back to even this first drawing. In here, you want to be a problem solver. Because to be a problem solver, you have to figure out all these things. Your dreams, your goals, all your things. So to become this person, to become this king, you have to go through all these hardships. You have to go through hardships. You cannot expect to grow if you don't go through hardships. And that's something I really struggled with. Because I always look for easy way out. Like, I always want to find an easy way out. Do you guys know what happened? I think that's it for drawing today. As soon as I ran into difficulties with my classes, I immediately started to look to change my major. As soon as I opened lab, as soon as I opened lab 0 of my class, aka like the first packet of work that I had to do, the first one, I immediately said, this is not for me. I need to change my major. That's Pilu. That's his initial reaction. But because I've lived life long enough, I know that's what I always do. So then I said, okay, let's calm down. In life, you can't just always do easy things. You have to do difficult things. So I sat down and I just started to work. Obviously, my brain, my thoughts were like, you can't do this. You can't do this. How are you going to do this? And I didn't know. I didn't know how I was going to figure it out. There was a problem. This class, I didn't know how I was going to figure it out. The answer was hard work. But this is the thing. Don't say you're bad at math. You're not bad at math. You just need to work hard. This is a big thing. Look at me. I can't do college algebra. I literally struggle to solve a super simple equation. I can't factor. Right? Exactly. But because instead of running away from this problem and just letting it remain a problem, I decided to sit down and say, let's solve it. So for example, you want to do data analysis. And your issue is, I'm not proficient in math. Well, obviously you're not good at it because you haven't practiced it enough. That's the thing. When something's new, it's obviously going to be difficult. I told you guys, I think on the piano stream, I can play Claire de Lune perfectly. I know every crevice of this song. However, I remember very clearly when I first opened up the sheet music and I looked at it and I said, how the heck am I gonna play this song? I didn't even know where to start. I was like, bro, what the heck is this? But then I took it line by line by line, and you have to be patient, and you work, and you believe in yourself that you can do it, and guess what? In the end, you will. That's kind of how the universe works. If you have a goal, and you truly believe in it, and you put in work towards that goal, you will accomplish it. It sounds like, oh no, that's not true. It is. Look at everyone in this life who has been successful. They all started with a goal, and they all had belief in themselves. And that's the hard part. You have to believe in yourself. I didn't believe in myself that I could do this math stuff. Now I do. That is true. IDK, I have to disagree. That's true. That's also true in the extent of there's a professor. He said when you're deciding what you want to do, you should find something that you're not the best at, but you're not the worst at. So that way you have room for growth, but you're also not the worst of the worst. So you're actually true, Higashi. That's true. But also at the same time, kind of like what David Goggins said. You did not. No way. No way this guy just brought up Ninja Storm. Okay, bro, I'm gonna have to teach you a lesson. No shot this guy just brought up Ninja Storm. I'm gonna say this. Higashi, that is true. That's absolutely true. And guess what? You know what David Goggins would say to that? He'd say, F that. Because everyone said that David Goggins could not do it. Every single person laughed at him. Right? This guy becoming a Navy SEAL? He was literally 300 pounds. How is he gonna become a Navy SEAL? But then David Goggins said something. He said, what if? That simple question. He said, when I would go to those Navy SEAL officers and they would laugh at me, he said, do you really expect? He would ask himself a simple question. He said, what if I did do it though? Just a thought. It's just a thought. What if I did do it? What if I did achieve this? And I think whether you hate him or you love him, I think that's something we should also do. Because we underestimate how much we can achieve with hard work, persistence, and drive. Those three things, they can make impossible things become possible. David Goggins was a 400 pound man who literally became the 36th or 37th African American Navy SEAL. Something that people said was impossible, he achieved. And it's not just him, it's many people. Richard Feynman was a big one. He wasn't smart. He worked hard. I'll post some videos that really help my mindset. You have to believe in yourself. If you can't do that, then you'll never achieve anything. Because if you can't even think about believing in yourself, how will you ever actually be able to live it? If you think you're bad at math, how can you ever be good at it? It's a limiting belief. You're limiting what you can do by your belief. And this is actually a big thing. What was it? This is something that people need to talk about. It's called, it's the perspective you have of the world. It's I have to find it. I'll find it. But you have to change the way you think. Yeah, Richard Feynman, one of the best physicists in the world, and he said it's literally just about hard work. We all grow up different, and that's true. And that's something Marcus Aurelius talks about as well. I think it'd take too long for me to explain it, but like, everyone has their own set of problems, and in that way, we're all the same though. We're all different, but in the same way, we're all the same. We all have different problems, but in the end, we all have problems. That's true. You're right, Higashi. You can explore other things, but like, for example, this is one thing. I have to get going in like a minute. I disagree with the statement, you just have to work hard. I understand exactly why you disagree with that statement. Because there are people who work hard and they never achieve anything. There are people, for example, my dad is a hard worker. My dad has worked hard. But has he achieved the things he wanted to achieve? To a degree, yes. But I know he has a bigger vision of success. But he works hard, don't get me wrong, but you know what I'm saying? And that's a different topic though. Because it's more than just working hard. It's like a cake needs flour, baking soda, all those things. Working hard towards something that you believe in. I think that's very important. I'm not explaining it 100% correctly. I get what you're saying though, Higashi. You're absolutely correct. But there's also this thing where even if you're not good at something, if you really want it, I'm talking about like this is a desire in your heart of I want to do this. Right? Like I want to do this so badly. There's nothing more that I want than this. If you believe in that and you believe that you can accomplish it, this is what I'm trying to say. And then you add in hard work to that, then you can achieve it. If you suck at drawing, I have a question. If someone's horrible at drawing, but they really, really, really want to do it, like this is what they know they want to do. I'm not talking about like a superficial belief. I'm talking about like a deep-rooted belief. Even if they suck at it, I promise you, if they put in the hard work, they'll be better than any talented artist at the end. Because there's something that hard work teaches that talent can never teach. There's something that those struggles that a person goes through, but this all has to come from a deep-rooted sense of belief to chase what you want. Because, but Higashi's still right in the sense of, like, there are people, physically, their IQ is low. No, you're right. I'm not saying you have to be the greatest. I'm saying if that's a person's desire. That's what I'm saying. If that's a person's desire, you don't have to be the greatest. You don't have to. Right? You don't have to. And I think when I say the greatest, I think it also means that vision of yourself. I think that's a big thing. The greatest is not in comparison to the world. It's I have this idea of who I want to be. When you think about, like, I think every one of you can do this right now. If you close your eyes and envision who you want to be, think about the characteristics that this version of you has, the habits that they have, the things that they do, the way that they think, the way they interact with people. And you start to visualize this person. They exist. They're within you, but you have to become them. No, Higashi, you're absolutely right. These are valid statements, right? But for example, like to be the best, It means to be the best version of yourself. What if I'm already the greatest? Then you've achieved what you wanted, but that's the thing. Like, this is me. I'm gonna draw this. Here. This will be the last thing. This is us. And we have this ideal version of ourselves that has certain habits, certain thinking. It thinks in a certain way. Right? It has achieved certain things. This person exists within us. But you have to unlock it. You have to create it. And that's what I'm trying to say. To be the best. This is what it means. Best is an arbitrary term. What is the best? Only you can define that for yourself. What is the best version of yourself? David Goggins knows what that is for him. David Goggins, I don't want to be like David Goggins in the sense of like what he does. I have different goals. But it's different for everyone. And this is what I mean. To become the best means to become the best version of yourself. And that I know everyone wants. You can lie to yourself and say, I don't want to be the best version of myself. I don't want to be the best. That's a lie. Everyone wants to be the best version of themselves. Everyone has an idea of who they want to be. And that's what it means to be the best. Richard Feynman, he wanted to understand these concepts. He wanted to understand how the world works. That's why he studied physics. Growing up means being able to acknowledge and accept that you're bad at something and moving on. That's true. But at the same time, there are people that have shown that it's not true. Because let me tell you this. Everyone said it was impossible to run a 3-minute mile. As soon as one person, was it a 3 or 4 minute? It was 3. As soon as one person ran, or it was a 4 minute, as soon as one person ran a 4-minute mile, the next week, multiple people around the world started to run 4-minute miles. Do you see? It was impossible before. Everyone said, just move on. It's impossible. You can't run a sub 4-minute mile. They said it was impossible. As soon as one person did it, all around the world, all of a sudden records were being set, records were being broken. In the same way, I'm going to prove to you guys, me, someone who is bad at math, who should have just given up and done something else, I'm going to prove that guess what? Because of my hard work, I'm going to do a major that requires a lot of math, computer science, and I'm going to excel in it. I'm going to get A's. Now, words are cheap, though. I can say this and then fail my classes, right? But it's up to me to put in the hard work to create this. And I believe that if I do it, I can. And that's the power of belief. Date bayo. You know what I'm saying? You gotta believe in yourself and you gotta fight for yourself. And I think that supersedes normal worldly logic. Yeah, the difference between difficult and impossible is that impossible takes a little bit of a longer time. It's true. It's true. But I do have to get going. Any last comments? We'll be studying from we'll be studying from like 3 to 11. I'm top G. What is the conclusion? The conclusion is you have to organize your mind. I'm going to break those in points. You have to organize your thought space. You have to realize that problems have solutions. And you have to believe in yourself that you as a person can solve difficult problems. Never doubt your ability to solve problems, whether it be emotional, physical, logical, whatever. Believe in yourself that you can achieve things and work hard for those things that you believe in. That is what I'm trying to say. Everything starts with your perception of yourself and the beliefs that you hold. Once you correct those beliefs, then you can start to work towards them. But that requires work. Believe in yourself, work hard, accomplish your goals, and don't doubt yourself. Those are my things. Believe in yourself that you can solve difficult problems and solve the problems that you need to do. And also be patient with yourself. Yeah. Okay, I have to get going. See you guys, if I will see you. Well, again, we're going to be streaming from 3 to 4 till 11 for studying. This will be studying, no chit-chatting. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate it. Okay, I do have to get going. I'm kind of late already for this thing. Okay, have a great day, guys. Peace. We live, we love, we lie.